What's going on, guys? We're back once again, and we are going to be talking about another movie today. We are going to be talking about the Haunted Mansion remake. So, before I get fully into this, let me know what you guys thought about the movie. If you did see the movie, if you have not seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, I highly recommend you click off the video. And then also at the same time, we're going to be getting into the good and the bad about this film, and also, was this better than the Eddie Murphy version, or was this just as good, or was it not as good as the Eddie Murphy version? So let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments down below, and let's get right into this. So overall, The Haunted Mansion. What was my thoughts on this film? Now again, this is a 20-year difference between this film. A 20-year difference. That's a big difference, guys. This is a very big difference. So the difference between the Eddie Murphy version and now this version, it is kind of a big difference. They kind of go the same kind of story, just a little bit different. It still stays in New Orleans, and we still have this creepy ghost type of situation going on. So the entirety about this movie is around Ben, who is a scientist who meets his love interest by the name of Harriet, and she kind of, or his love interest, and then they slowly start getting together, and then finally when they get together, something unfortunately happens to her, and we find out later in the movie that they got married and she died in a car accident, and he's been dealing with the grief ever since. And she was a ghost tour expert, and he did everything he could to find a way to just talk to her one more time, and he finally gave up. And then he later finds a request from Gabby, who's played by Rosario Dawson, who she enlists the help of Owen Wilson's character, Father Kent, who is a priest, but apparently at the later part of the film we found out that he's just a fake, that he's doing it mainly for money. So he goes to Ben, enlisting his help, saying that this lady needs help, that she's in a haunted house, and she's willing to pay this amount of money. And so he goes, and he starts acting like he's taking pictures because his camera battery's dead, and he tells her, oh, there's no ghosts here, there's no this here. And then he goes back home, and this ghost followed him, and then strange things starts happening in his home, and then he has no choice but to come back to the house. So the way this works is when they start realizing that as soon as you step into this house, you're pretty much stuck there. You can't do anything. If you leave and you stay away too long, especially at night, then a ghost will follow and basically pester you and terrify you until you return. And there's a certain area in the house where you will be safe for some reason, and they try to dig into the history of the house and what happened. And what's kind of cool is they gather these people that they kind of make their own force to gather a medium. They of course have, Wilson's character. Then we meet Madame Leota, who's played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and in the previous one we had, obviously someone different that was in the film, which they're using about the same amount of characters. It's just they are doing it a lot different than what they did in the original film. So what I want to let you guys know is they still stick to the same story, that the main character of Gracie, he lost his wife, and he was so distraught that he wanted to get a medium, who obviously was Madame Leota, to contact her, and he kept opening up portals, and then finally something negative got in and led him to, unfortunately, go to his own demise. And what happens is now he's, a ghost, and they're trying to figure out exactly what does this evil entity want. And what happens is this evil entity is trying to get to over 1,000 souls, and when he does get to this, that he will be able to escape the ghostly plane and go into the human world and be able to escape the house. And this is what they do to try to fight it. So they pretty much go almost the same type of way, but with this movie was honestly, I would say, better than the original in 2003 version. The reason why I say that is because, one, CGI was actually a bit better than the other one. The actors, on the other hand, you can take it or leave it depending on what your own personal preference is. The story was a lot better. It made a lot more sense. It was a lot more of a ghostly feeling. It made feel more like an actual story. It made sense. It wasn't pushed. And not a lot of the jokes fell either. So there was some jokes in here. But I will say, again, with all due respect to the actors and actresses, but having someone like Owen Wilson or even Danny DeVito walk into a room, they pretty much steal the show. Just by their, their presence alone and being able, like, I think there was one scene where Owen Wilson and Danny DeVito were in the same room, and I just couldn't help but keep laughing. And then when Danny DeVito tries to get into the house because of something that was stolen from him, he goes into the house, and not even like 5 minutes later, he's getting literally slammed out the house in a chair, and he gets into right in the middle of the road. So it's kind of got like that Scooby-Doo-esque type of feel to it, and I like that. And it really did feel like a ghostly movie. It was a very hard ghostly movie. There was, I will say this now, if you guys think there was any kind of wokeness in this film, or political agenda, or female empowerment, or any of this other stuff that Disney has been very known within the past several years to do, there really was none of that in here. And I'm very happy for once that they did that, because again, this movie is a flop right now from everything I'm seeing online on the box office. But in actuality, I think it's doing actually kind of decent. But again, that's to everybody's personal preference and also for their money value. So overall, I think the movie was very good. There was some comedy. It had a great story. The acting was done really well. There was really no cringe. You kept interested. The CGI was not that bad, as well as also, again, the whole aspect of just going into a movie and trying to enjoy a movie. And that's what movies need to be again. So overall, guys, that is my review of The Haunted Mansion 2003. What exactly is your opinion of this film? Was it a good film? Is it a bad film? Is it an okay film? Will you watch it again? Will you not watch it again? Overall, let me know what your thoughts were about this down in the comments down below. Hope you guys are enjoying your day, your night, wherever you're located. And obviously, I'll be seeing you guys on the very next one.